I finally managed to get my hands on Too Faced Sweet Peach eyeshadow palette, and to be honest, like my excitement for this palette has kind of dwindled down by the amount of frustration that it was to get it. I actually had to go on the Ulta app to be able to get it because it came on there before it hit the Ulta website, and I was on the Ulta website waiting for it because it said sometime after 12 at night that it was going to show up on there, and it actually showed up on the app, and I think it was only available on the actual website for a couple minutes before it sold out because obviously they sold a whole bunch of them on the app. And then the Too Faced website was a nightmare for this palette when it launched, and Sephora I've seen has got it in stock twice. It's out of stock right now, but it has been coming in stock at Sephora, but it's coming to Ulta stores and Sephora stores soon. It was rather frustrating, and it did take away some of my excitement when I finally got it in my hands. I was like, okay, here it is. You know, I do have it now. I've got it on my eyes, which there will be a demo for the eyeshadows and the performance and stuff like that towards the end of the video if you're interested in it. But this palette here comes with 18 eyeshadows, and each eyeshadow is 0.03 ounces a piece, which isn't a large eyeshadow, but it's not like the little tiny ones either. It's kind of in between. And then inside the box, it does come with the standard Too Faced look card that comes inside of there. The actual packaging of this is super cute. I think everybody loves the packaging on it. It's the thinner tin type of packaging, and it's got your magnetic closure. The names are printed on the inside of the palette, which I like. There is a mirror in there that props itself up about like that. Now before I zoom in and give you guys swatches and stuff like that, and I'm gonna also compare these, or do like side by side so that you guys can compare them for yourselves from both the original chocolate bar palette, the semi-sweet, and the bonbon, so you guys can kind of see the shades. I feel like if you take these two peach shades and just kind of cover them up, there are a ton of similar type of shades in the other chocolate bar palettes. And talking a little bit about the performance, I did have to go into the matte shades a couple times and kind of build them up. And in my mind, if I were to go into shades similar to this and like my Makeup Forever Artist eyeshadows, I would have a lot more vibrant eye than what I have. I feel like some of the shades are rather subdued. I expected like a peach punch on my eyes or something. I mean, it's pretty, but it's a lot more subtle than I had expected it to be. And I did have to work with those shades a bit to build and blend them, but they were buildable and blendable in the end. And this does smell like peach, but I get a little bit more gummy bear peach or something. Like, it smells like a jelly candy. That's what I think. Like, I don't get like a fresh peach smell out of it. I think of like a gummy type of a candy, I guess. Which is, it's a pleasant smell nonetheless. So here's a close-up of the palette. Again, it is really, really cute packaging. 2 thumbs way up for the packaging on this guy. And then inside, you've got the names written on the palette. Now, for straight matte eyeshadows that are in here, you've got 4. You've got Peaches and Cream, Georgia, Puree, and Summer Yum. Those are your matte eyeshadows. White Peach is more like a satin. It's got some super fine sparkles in it. And Charmed, I'm sure I thought initially was a matte, but it's more like a satin finish. Everything else in here has got a shimmer to it. I would call Candied Peach is one of those matte eyeshadows with the infused micro glitters in it. When I look real close up in the mirror, because I did end up using this shade, I see a little bit of those. They're pink micro glitters, but they're so few. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch these by 3, and we'll start over here with these lighter shades. And we'll do these next 3. And then here are our peaches, which I did use both of these peach shades on my eyes today. This shade is really stunning. It's kind of got a green iridescence to it. And then Bellini really reminds me of like Satin Sheets, but a little bit deeper in color. It's got that pink type of a duochrome to it. I'm getting into some of the darker shades over here. And this color right here, I put through the crease, and I had to put my brush into it quite a few times to get the intensity that I wanted in the crease with it. It's one of the mattes, this color. And then the last three down here, which I initially thought that was a matte, but it's more a satin finish. It's got some little sparkles in it. Some of these feel a little stiff. Now for shade comparisons, the bottom is the Too Faced Bon Bon palette, and then the top is the Sweet Peach. And then on the top you've got the Sweet Peach, and the bottom is the Semi-Sweet palette. I feel like there's quite a few similar shades in these two. And then lastly, the Sweet Peach on top, and the old school, or the first chocolate bar palette on the bottom. Mine's the thicker one that doesn't have the names printed on it, but there's a few similar shades in here as well. Like the peach palette could have used, I mean, considering it's the peach palette, I could have used some more peaches. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. I always like to give you guys the best visual so that you can, you know, make the decision for yourself whether it's something you may like. I do think this is a pretty palette. It is a little something more to work with for me than like my Makeup Forever artist shadows or something like that. And I feel like it's a little limited. Everything in here is going to be very neutrally wearable. Like I picked the brightest shades in here, which are those peaches there, and I still don't feel like my eyeshadow is like boom, you know, very vibrant, to be honest, but it's still a really wearable look. But I love the packaging. I'm glad that I have it. I'm glad I have it in my collection of bar palettes from Too Faced. This packaging is super, super cute. Now, if you want to see these eyeshadows perform and how I got the look that's on my eyes right now, you can hang tight and we'll get into it right now. I already went ahead and primed my lids with the usual suspect, which is the NYX eyeshadow base in ESB01. It's just a matte white shade. Since it's the peach palette, I might as well go peachy and pick up the shade Just Peachy right here on a Goss 18 brush, which is a flat shader. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on the center of the lid. Oh yeah, that color is really pretty. On the side of that same brush, I'm going to go into Nectar. And I'm going to put that right in front of the Just Peachy shade. And kind of blend it in there. Again, with the same brush, I'm going to go into Bellini. And I'm going to put that on the outer portion out here and kind of overlap it on the Just Peachy shade. Then using a Chikuhodo GSN 9, I'm going to go into Summer Yum, which is one of the matte shades. I'm going to put this one in the crease. Then using a Chikuhodo J5523 brush, I'm going to dip into Candied Peach, which is right there. It's got some little pink sparkles in it, like micro glitters, but overall I think it's just going to come off as a matte. It's one of those ones that's suspended in a matte eyeshadow. So I'm going to blend this out. Yeah, it's pretty much coming off matte. On a Goss number 3 brush, I'm going to go into the shade Georgia, which is also a matte, and I'm going to put that one underneath the brow bone. Then using a Chikuhodo J5533, I'm going to go back into Candied Peach and buff this out some more. Then lastly, I'm going to go in with this Suku eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to dip into Charmed, I'm Sure, which is another one of the matte shades. it kind of looks a little satin, but I'm going to put a little more depth in the crease here. So there's the eyeshadow done. I'm going to go ahead and finish up my eye makeup, and I'll be right back to put on some lips for you guys. I'm going to line my lips with the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in the shade Pink Venus. And then to fill them in, I've got one of the Clinique Pop Lip Color and Primers, and this is the shade 05 Melon Pop, which I thought kind of goes nice with the shadow. There's the overall finished look using the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!